Hello, I am Mandisa Johnson of Atlanta Film and TV, and today's featured artist conversation is with actress Marlana Goecks. Marlana grew up in the quaint little town of Canton, Georgia. Her passion for film and acting became evident to Marlana in her early 30s when she had the opportunity to sit on the set of a renowned director to which she fell in love with the experience. Marlena began putting countless hours into studying film, private acting, and film classes, as well as marketing her skill set. Aside from pursuing acting, Marlena is a wife and a mother to four amazing kids. Lastly, Marlena has built her acting career from the ground up and is currently represented by the Wayne Agency. Hi, Marlena. How are you today?
Hey. Hi, Mandisa. Thank you for having me today.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us. So, we gave you a brief introduction, but could you tell us about who you are and what you do in the Atlanta film and TV community?
Yes, I think you did a good job with that introduction. There's not much else for me to say. I'm an actor. I'm local to Atlanta. I've been in the industry for about 5 years now, I think. I'd have to think through that a little. But yes, I have built my career from knowing absolutely zero about the industry to where I'm at today, represented by the Wayne Agency.
Yay. And Marlena at our last networking mixer, and we're excited to have you today. So can you take us on your journey of how you started to where you are today?
Yes. So, like I said, I knew nothing at all about the industry. So, it all started by networking at events like you guys put on at Atlanta Film and TV, like the coffee chats. I would go to anything available, any film festival. I started to meet people, people who today are now my mentors, my coaches, that were just willing to guide me along. I knew that we had to treat this like a business. I had something to sell. I had a skill set, but I didn't know exactly where to go with that. So, over the last few years, I have spent my time learning, listening to a lot of coaches, auditioning my butt off, which has gotten me to some of the roles I've had the opportunity to play at this point. And it has been a roller coaster, to say the least, but a phenomenal one. Every day is different, which I love. Every audition is different. Even when you're having that day where you've been told no 50,000 times, you get that win, and it's worth everything. But I feel like the networking and the marketing is what led me to making the connections with agents, managers, other actors that were able to just compile on my career and lead me in the ways I should go.
While you answered that, thank you for sharing that. So, we shared in your bio about how you were invited to sit on the set of a renowned director. Could you share with us who that director was and what was it about being on that particular set that sparked your interest?
Well, that's a fun story. I had never stepped foot on a set before at all. This was in the very, very beginning. So I actually just reached out to apply for an extras gig. Can I just get on a set and see what this is about? I thought it was going to be a one and done deal at that point. And I got the call to come in the next day to sit on one of Jason Bateman's sets as an extra. Little did I know that that is where all the sparks would be lit. I'll get a little emotional. The kindness on that set was just incredible. It was filmed here in Atlanta, in Canton, actually. And I will never forget me just sitting there as an extra that day. It was cold and windy, and he was acting, directing, producing, and didn't skip a beat, checking in to make sure everyone was warm. Are you comfortable? You would see him take a break when they call cut, check, make sure everybody's got their coats on. And there were drones flying over. It was a huge set to be a part of. And I came home that day and knew that this is where I had to go. And I knew that this is not exactly where I wanted to be, but I need to be on a set. And that is where my little acting spark started. And I met people on that set that were able to direct me to some coaches in the area and started classes and just started throwing myself into everything and learning everything I could so that I could become an actor. And I look back on that day and it should have been a day where I just had this experience and stepped on a set and stepped right off and never looked back, and it grew into a career.
Well, this was not one of my original questions, but I thought about it as you were talking. You talked about a little bit about networking. So how important is networking and building relationships, which it seems like that's how you got your first opportunity, um, and where you got your interest in acting. Can you talk to us about the importance of networking?
Yes, I think from my experiences, networking is everything because like I said, I had no foundation. I had to build that. So when I would go to an event and I would meet a director who would give me a few little nuggets to take along. I'd meet a manager, an agent, a coach, other actors, actors that are where I am or above me. And I think that that is where you make all of your contacts. I've met casting directors at some of these events, and it's great for them to know you aside from your slate and your headshot. And I think it is so important to meet others at the same time that are maybe going through those roller coasters, right? Because we all know you get told no a lot in this business. You have the days where you want to cry and lay under a blanket and like with your tissues and a chick flick, but to know that other people have gone through that and to guide you through those rough spots. um Also, I have met the coaches that I may not be with them in their studio coaching today at some of these events, but have guided me along. I could still pick up the phone right now and call a lot of them because of the mentorships that have been built there. Some of the mentorships with the actors who have gone far beyond where I am today, to be able to ask them a question when I have an audition and I'm still not sure of a choice. I think that all of those connections are made from networking, and you get the chance to market yourself and your skills and people to see you, and they'll ask you questions and you can give your response of what your skill set is, and to know, I mean, just like you and I know a little bit of your life outside of the industry, and I was excited to talk to you today more about that than the interview. um, just so much of that, and we know in Atlanta we're such a close knit community in general that it is so great to be able to go to these events and see the faces you maybe haven't seen in a year. And I think it's very important to network and attend all the events. We're also very lucky. Atlanta's our backyard. These events happen all the time, and we're able to go and be in person with casting to actors to everyone. It's just a great thing to have. It's a great resource.
Yes, going beyond social media, going beyond email, meeting people in person. So you are correct. So we are going to take a break, but we'll be right back. Welcome back to our featured artists interview with actress and mother of four. I still can't believe you have four kids, Marlana Goecks. Talk to us about the importance of marketing and how did you market yourself as an actress in the Atlanta film community?
So again, I think marketing is huge. When you're an actor, your first kind of line of defense is your headshot, right? That's casting's got a split second to see that, and you've got to captivate them. To piggyback on the events I would go to, I would carry around little business cards, just had a headshot and my agent's name, my name, where to find me. And at these events, it's a great way when you're in a hurry to just, oh, here you go, pass those out. I think that's so important. I think marketing the skill set you have, maybe something that sets you apart from everyone else in your demo that casting is looking at is important. I think that you have to market what you're selling. You have to look at yourself as an item, right? And for me, I came from a medical background. That's all I knew up until this point, but that is something that I have definitely gotten auditions because of. I have a clip of me as a nurse on my reel, but if I hadn't been in positions to be able to put that out there, someone might not know that, oh, she can, speak and understand medical terminology on set. And it has definitely been a way to get jobs.
Wow, I didn't know you had a medical background. That's interesting.
Right? It's been a while. It's been a while.
There are a lot of mothers looking to pursue a career in film and TV. As a mother of four children, what would be a few tips?
Oh, that's a good one to think about. I would tell you to do it, to figure out what it means to you, how to do it. Back on the day I came home from that first set as an extra, and I told you guys, oh, I'm going to be an actress. This is what I'm going to do. You've got to have that drive because this industry is, ooh, it's hard. It's tough. You're up against some good ones, right? Um, Make your 5-year plan. Treat it like a business. It is a business. This is your career. Know what you want and where you want to get, and start networking and finding those channels you need. Um, I think the first thing to do is find a coach, get some headshots. That is your like I said, your first line of defense. That's going to kind of officiate you into everything. Get a good coach, someone who's willing to work with you if you were like me and you had no experience. My first coach was a seasoned actor from Los Angeles. He didn't exactly coach, he coached about 5 of us. And that worked so well for me because he and his wife both were actors and are actors, and were able to walk me through channels like self-taping, setting up your lights, the way the industry runs. Find what's best for you. I think you can audit most classes
Yes.
in Atlanta, and I think that's amazing. That is something you should definitely take advantage of and really test them out. Test out the waters before you lock into one person. Um, know when it's time to move on. I'm not very great at sitting still or being complacent, but if you have a good coach, they know when it's time for you to work on a different skill set and to guide you into that. I've been really lucky to have a lot of those mentors along the way, but I think that's the first thing you do, and then know that you need a team. Your family has to be on board because, like we said, with 4 kids and a husband, everybody's going in different directions all the time, and I get an audition and it's like, peace be still, everybody, mom's got to work. Right? So know that you need a team and start setting that team up. For me, it starts with my family here. Everyone has to be on board. Then you have your coaches, you eventually have your agent, you have a manager, you have support systems, friends like you and I feel like if I had an industry question, I could pick up the phone and call you, and we're going to find an answer, right? Be able to get your hands dirty. It's not easy. You're going to have to really go out there and put in the blood, sweat, and tears. No one knows you when you first start out. No one knew me. I had a lot of work to do with casting. I was coming in with all of these much more seasoned resumes than mine, and I had to find my own niche spot. You have to do the same. If you are wanting to be an actor, you're so talented in some aspect, and all the aspects. Just get out there and put yourself out there, and find what you're best at, and make that what people recognize. Make them recognize that.
Wow, that was good. Not as a gym.
Right?
So you take a number of classes. Can you talk to our readers and viewers about the importance of taking acting classes and how you found them to be beneficial?
I can. Um, I found so many classes by other actors that I knew, some of these networking events. One of the classes I found was just word of mouth. Um, I know she won't mind me saying Kelly Silva. She is one of my mentors, and I no longer train at her studio. It's a distance thing. She's very far from where I live, but she is one of my mentors that has really guided me. Um, and she can recognize when it's time to take a step and to do things and guide you into those. I think those classes are important. It's important, like I said before, to find those coaches that work with you and really tell you the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? I don't feel, for me, I benefit from a class where my coach is like, good job, good job, good job, standing ovation. No, I need somebody to tell me, hey, today you sucked a little. Let's let's step this up, right? I think that that is important. You you meet so many coaches at the events, again, like Atlanta Film and TV. I know I live in Canton, so we're a small community, but we have our Office of Economic Development for Cherokee County puts on an event, Cherokee Film Summit, each year, and there are panels, and I have found people speaking of classes there, and on the panels, again, just like you guys host, you'll find class opportunities or someone who can guide you in that direction. And I think for me, it's always been that word of mouth. Someone saying, hey, come to class with me, let's work on this together. And those are wonderful. There are so many workshops often in Atlanta. Our casting directors are wonderful. They put themselves out there and will teach. And I mean, what better way than for a casting director to have the opportunity to look over and audition self tape in the room with 10, 12, 20 of you and go over what they're looking for. I think that's really great. My current coach is an actor as well, represented. And so I feel the benefit I have from him is that he's auditioning constantly. He's booking. So to have someone booking those roles and assisting you, it's kind of, again, a team effort, and it works really well. We have so many studios that work that way in Atlanta, so many that will put you where you need to be at your level and continue your progression.
Yes, that's true because a lot of times I'll people will contact me and I'll say, "Well, who are you studying under?" And they'll say they don't need school, and I'm like, "Well, it's not school.
Right,
You want to perfect your craft." And I said, if Denzel Washington is as famous as he is, and he's still taking acting classes, he may not per se be in a class, but he has a coach.
right.
You should be in classes too.
You have
Because
to work out those muscles, right? You just constantly be working and improving and practice, you
yeah,
can fall out of the swing of things when you're not just doing it constantly.
yes, because you can be naturally talented, but you still need to perfect your craft. A lot of people don't realize that if you come from a theater background, theater and film and TV are two totally different
Right,
ways of acting. Of course, you have to be big and be loud and project for people in the back of the audience for theater, whereas film and
right.
the cameras are right there on you. So you don't have to. So go take a film and TV acting class. It's okay.
It's not going to hurt anything. And like we said earlier, you can audit so many places in Atlanta, and that is worth everything to just make sure you have that connection and that you are going to get that mentorship along the way from your studio.
Right. So before we close out, do you have anything else that you would like to share?
I think so. I think you covered so much. It was a good episode.
Thank you. People connect with you.
Um, I would say probably Instagram is the best. Marlana.Goecks. Casting can always find me with the Wayne Agency. Um, Feel free to reach out to Mandisa if someone needs something. She has my contact information. I'd be happy to help anyone that is maybe where I was a few years back.
Thank you so much for joining
Thank
us.
you for having me.
Be sure to stay tuned for our next featured artists interview. Have a good one.